This week, we're continuing our elk hunt in the Peace region of northern Alberta. I've been chasing bulls here with my bow for just over a week.
I loved it.
The rut was in high gear. And we were bugling in bulls nearly every day. So when I finally got a clear shot at a bull, I missed.
Biggest thump I heard was in the bull.
As the week progressed, I contracted Giardia from drinking tainted river water.
Yeah, I'm pretty sick.
To put it mildly, we were drinking clay and cow shit soup. And if there's one surefire way to catch an intestinal parasite like Giardia while out camping for a week, drinking water from this river would most definitely do the trick.
So the river is at flood levels, and it's our only source of clean drinking water. It is pretty nasty looking stuff. A little gritty.
Now that I'm mostly recovered, I'm back for the opening of rifle season with my wife.
We're eating tenderloin tonight.
Okay everybody, welcome back. This week we're back up in the Peace region. If you guys watched last week's episode, we had just an awesome action-packed week full of elk everywhere. At the end of last week though, I got pretty sick. I got an intestinal issue. We drank some bad river water. I got Giardia, and it's just been a really terrible week for me. So I'm all recovered, we're back, and it's almost my first year wedding anniversary, and I promised my wife that I would take her out once a year to go elk hunting on our anniversary. So we're here, the elk are bugling, we got 2 rifles, 2 tags, and we're gonna put the smack down on a couple elk this week.
On this guy.
This is Lynn's first time elk hunting during the rut, so we had her do some practice bugles to start things off.
There you go, nailed it. Yeah.
How do you do a bugle?
Same thing, but more air.
I think your latex is worn out.
Push on the latex one more.
First time trying.
By 4 p.m. on the second day, we located our first bull.
All right, let's get started.
Since I was having difficulty bringing the elk into less than 60 yards last week, I figured the best strategy would be to back off and call from about 50 yards behind Lynn and Cheese to bring the bulls right into their lap.
I'm gonna get moving, I'm gonna get out of here, and hopefully he falls and pulls right through here.
Now, in order for this strategy to be effective, the caller has to be loud and get the bull's attention, and the shooters have to be quiet. Leaving them two alone was kind of like the blind leading the blind. As poor as this camera work is, it goes to show just how tough filming in this dense underbrush can be.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
The bull paused for a few seconds, caught a glimpse of them trying to readjust, and busted out of there.
He came in from like the behind, basically, and then I saw him for like 2 seconds, and then I went to rearrange it so did Cheese, because Cheese didn't have the shot. And then he went up the hill, and then he called again, and then he came out, and he's like over this knoll. He went there.
You guys didn't have 30 minutes to readjust while he was in the woods.
We had no idea he was coming out that
He
way.
was screaming the whole time.
Yeah, from over here.
I feel like this big bull that we've been screaming at for a while is a little bit bigger than this 4x5 that we've seen. I think the 4x5 was the quieter one. Now they're both down that way quite a way. So we're gonna pack up here and run down there and try and run these elk down.
A legal bull in this zone only needs 3 points on one side. So if we could line up one of these bulls on both the camera and in Lynn's sights, we would be in good shape.
There's cows, there's bulls, there's animals everywhere that could come out at any time. So be ready and keep your eyes open. There's another bull. There's 2 bulls.
For the rest of the evening, we chased these bulls. They would come into view for a moment, but we just couldn't get both Lynn and the camera on them for long enough to get a good clean shot off on film. As the week wore on, the winds picked up and the weather got hot. We hunted hard for 5 days, but the elk lipped up. So when this bull came out, Trav had some fun calling him into archery range for us. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't packing my bow around because it was still open season for archery moose.
Oh, this is good news. The wallow.
What's that?
So you see all the mud and how there's like water over there and it's all stirred up?
Mm-hmm.
So what they'll do is the elk will come in here. You see how it's full of tracks, right?
Yeah.
So they'll come in here, they urinate, and sometimes even ejaculate in the holes, and then they'll roll around in it.
Yeah.
And then they get themselves all full of mud and full of piss and everything, so they stink.
Yeah.
And then when they go walk around, that's like their musk for the ladies.
Nice.
Yeah. So when you walk through somewhere, and you know how I've been stopping and saying like, I smell elk? Well, you smell the elk because that's what they're doing.
As far as Lynn's first few days in the elk woods are concerned, I would say she now understands the definition of chasing bulls during the rut.
Dave, I think it's me. I'm bad luck.
No such thing as luck.
As the week came to a close and it was time to break down camp, I just couldn't bring myself to end my elk season without a bull. So I carved out a few extra days and Cheese and I headed south. As we were driving around, we spotted quite a few elk the first morning, but none of those leaseholders would give us permission. After about 30 calls, we finally got permission on a lease just north of Edmonton. All right, everybody, so Lynn went home and Cheese and I decided that we're gonna spend just a couple more days. We just talked to a landowner and he's allowed us to hunt on his property for the next 2.5 days. We're in a 6-point or better zone, and he's told us that there's some really great elk on here and there's a lot of elk on here. So I'm gonna spend the first 1.5 days with my bow. If we can't get it done with the bow, I'm gonna switch over to the rifle and hopefully we can seal up this elk hunt in the next 2.5 days. On the morning of our final day of the hunt, we were hiking through a valley bottom and we picked up 3 really nice bulls up on the ridge.
3 bulls and 2 mule deer.
As I got a closer look, one of the bulls was actually sparring with a young mule deer buck. Now, I've never seen anything like this before, but it was a pretty cool sight to behold. So I sat down and watched them play for about 5 minutes while we tried to figure out a way to get within bow range of one of these bulls. With a quick look on iHunter, I found the north face of the slope was covered in aspen and would be a nice spot for them to seek shelter and bed up for the day.
So we're gonna go all the way around. There's a little pond over there. We're gonna get back down behind that bedding area and slowly work our way up. The wind will be in our face and we're anticipating that they're gonna go over that ridge.
We gave them a wide berth and hiked around them to the back side of the valley.
So we made it to the back side of this north-facing slope where they're gonna come in and bed. We're just kind of slowly walking. There's a really good cattle trail in here. So we're gonna walk on that cattle trail be as quiet as we can. And we're just gonna listen, because as soon as they start getting into this thick stuff, we should be able to hear them with the racks kind of brushing up against some of the leaves. It'll give us a good idea of where they're at, so we can kind of sneak in on them. I'm hoping that they just feed right into us as soon as we get up there. Might take an hour, hour and a half, but this piece of bush isn't that big. I'm pretty sure these bulls are bedded in here somewhere within a 500 by 500 yard block. We got some real nice rut pits in here. So I'm gonna get some cow elk scent in there, some cow elk urine, spray it all up in their pits. So when they come by and check this out a little later on, hopefully they get that nice musk. Might turn them back on a little bit. There's a dominant bull in here. You can see a lot of these trees are raked up in here too. Well, I know for sure, for a fact, there's 3 really great bulls, and I'd be happy with any one of them. So the bulls right now, we can hear them walking, making noise. They're probably feeding in here, browsing, maybe about 60, 70 yards just to the west here. So we're going to slip in, find a nice converging trail, and just wait, and they should just feed right into us. There's a bull bedded right there. He's about 45 yards. We're going to try and slip into about 20 yards and just really make sure that we got a perfectly clean shot before we try to stand them up. It's pretty brushy. We have a lot of wind in our favor right now. It's perfect. So there's no rush. We're just going to slowly walk this trail. Get right in on them. Remember, keep a tree in front of you and him. Okay, so if you're looking at him and you can see him, he can see you. The way he's positioned right now, I actually have a perfect shot right at his vitals. I think I might take this shot. He's 27 yards. I'm gonna shoot him in his bed. If I stand him up, it's so thick, there's a chance he might just turn and I wouldn't have a shot. But right now, I could slip an arrow right into his heart. I can't believe that just happened. We've been sitting here for 3 minutes debating if I should shoot him right where he's standing or right where he's bedded, or try and give him a quick call to stand him up. And a quick wind swirl. And he's gone. I didn't want to make a bad shot. I wanted to make sure we can kill him perfectly. I'm almost positive I would have been able to stick it right in his heart, but I just wanted to really be sure. Taking an extra minute. One quick wind swirl. Gone. That's archery for you, eh? If I had a rifle, wouldn't even have thought of it. But
I don't want to wound anything. Just under 30 yards. Well guys, we've been here for just about 2 days and this is it. This is our last evening of hunting. So I really wanted to get it done with the bow. I still have the bow with me, but we really need to get an elk. So switching over to the rifle. Hopefully we can see an elk here this afternoon. I mean, we've been seeing elk pretty consistently. There's a lot of elk on this piece of property, so I'm hoping that we should be able to get it done here this afternoon. It's nice and windy, so just like this morning, we're just going to kind of walk trails. And if we do get within range and we have time, I'll use my bow, but if not, I'm going to get it done with the rifle. As we're walking up and down the trail here, I'm going to spray this cow elk urine on our feet. So when we're walking, we're leaving a scent trails, hopefully. Any bulls that cross here at the time that we pass might just pick this scent up and follow it right to our calls. As the sun hit its highest point in the sky, the winds picked up. So I chose to slowly walk through the heaviest trails I could find, leading from bedding areas to watering holes, in hopes of picking up a bull who had to get up for a drink. At just after 5 p.m., the decision to still hunt the elk trails paid off. Jeez, man, we did it, dude. We have been busting our ass. This is like over 20 days of elk hunting here. So many close calls, so many near misses. And finally, I mean, we weren't even supposed to be hunting right now. We just kind of came out for afternoons and early mornings between work. And we, I think, just put down an absolute slob. It all happened so fast. He went down like pretty much right there. Just keeled over. You know what though? We could have got him with the bow. I finally put the bow down because I was like, we just have to make it happen, expecting a far shot. And that was like 10 yards broadside. Definitely could have made it happen with the bow, but hey, whatever. We got a beauty of an elk on the ground. Let's go check this guy out. Oh my. Holy jeez, he's big. Oh my. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's probably the biggest elk I've ever seen. Thank you, my friend. You're gonna get put to good use. Oh, wow, very impressive animal. Look at this bull. He is absolutely ginormous. What an incredible hunt. Incredible few days out here. I'm glad we came back out after I didn't get it done with Lynn. I'm speechless. This is a bull of a lifetime. To take an old warrior of this stature, who has evaded predators, hunters, starvation, and all other threats an elk faces in his life, I am honored to be the one to do it, and I will cherish this memory for the rest of my days. This bull will feed my family and always serve as a reminder to me of the possibilities one has in life if you just get out and try. Elk meat is my favorite game meat, and you know, it means a lot to me to be able to come out and actually get an elk in a year. We hunted hard this year. We put in well over 20 days, and finally, we made it happen. And now we get to do one of my favorite parts, cooking. This elk meat's just some of the most high quality meat that you can get. With only 1/4 left to pack out, I made a little fire, diced up a small piece of backstrap, and skewered it onto a young aspen. I built a simple rotisserie platform and a smoky fire, and slowly smoked the meat for nearly an hour. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's got a nice smoky flavor to it, old caveman style. It's always a great way to end a hunt. And I appreciate everybody watching this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, you know, just watching us chase elk for weeks on end. And I hope you guys learned some stuff about what to do and maybe what not to do while you're out elk hunting. And one big takeaway that you should take on this is perseverance. You know, don't give up, work really hard right till the end, and sometimes, just sometimes, it pays off for you. So we'll see you guys on next week's show.